Howdy, tabletop RPG fans. Thank you for supporting this channel. I'm Wrangleme, Grand Poobah of Game Design, and this Reviews Day topic is about the D6 System RPG from West End Games by George Strayton. The D6 System RPG is based on the D6 Star Wars, also published by West End Games. Published in 1996, it is designed by George Strayton, with artwork by Tom O'Neill, Ron Culp, and Tim Bobko. It was intended as a core system with variants and options for different genres and gameplay styles. To help players know which variants and options were used in the game, the GM would prepare a system template with selected rules, similar to players filling out their character sheets. These GM designers would also make a character creation template with character-specific abilities. The D6 core rule is that stats and skills affect the number of D6 dice rolled and totaled, and any bonus used towards your actions in the game. There are a large number of games with simple D6-based game mechanics inspired by the very successful D6 system. The D6 system was released as an open system with the Open D6 license in 2009. Sadly, West End Games closed, and their games can be difficult to find used. This is the D6 System RPG core booklet, and it was published in 1996 by West End Games, with the designers here in the index, and it's broken into the introduction, player section, game masters section, full breakdown of what characters are and how they all work and all their options and variants, skills, equipment, supernatural powers, adventures, combat, vehicle combat, and a sample game. The artwork in the book is pretty dark. It reminds me of something that would be maybe a cross between an urban fantasy or an X-Files style macabre and dangerous environment. There's a few risque illustrations as well, including the girl carrying the head of a person and a wood saw that she used to chop it off. The game is easy to read, very well laid out. It's heavy on the use of branding and materials, which a lot of the West End Games by 1996 were excellent at doing. The character sheet is wonderful. The artwork is, as I say, every page is always interesting. Game Master section is concise and yet very helpful. It explains about setting up the characters and setting up the game system templates, what it is that the Game Master as the designer needs to know about the characters, and assigning things like attributes and skills and fate points, veteran points, character points, many variations and options. This is fully intended as a game designer's tool to help design new RPGs in the D6 system. And this is a long list of character type. This is the skill tables themselves and skill types, setting difficulties. A superhero game would have different difficulties than, let's say, Men in Black or even a Tank Girl style setting. When we come to equipment, supernatural powers, lots of descriptions of kinds of powers, spell effects, and psychic abilities. Then we get into superpower systems. Finally, how adventures are created, types of adventures, the quest, caught in the tight spot, favors, contests, mysteries, types of scenes, how to set up a scene, deduction and puzzle games, role playing, and how to deal with supporting characters and what it is that the game master needs to know to depict characters while they're running the game, as well as information about more information about creating adventures. Talks about using the master deck, which was a part of the master book system, for creating adventure content using that deck, which was always an interesting way to do things. Combat system, it does use a body points or a wound system, so you have your choice when you're creating your system. How movement works, vehicle combat, and finally an example of a sample game system, and some rules here for converting masterbook settings into the straight D6 system setting, which was basically to take the masterbook score value, which might be a 13, divide it by 3, and use the remainder as an extra pip. So if you divide it by 3, it would be 46 plus 1 for your 13 score on your master system. And then 2 example character template and game system template for a generic sample game that they're talking about. This is well dog-eared. Most copies I've ever seen have been used and used and used again, and I would say that this is one of those core rule books that is super helpful for people who become RPG designers. This is the character creation template and includes the game world name, designer, character information with species, age ranges, groups, starting attribute dice, starting skill dice, starting money, damage system with wounds or body point formulas, advantages and disadvantages, and finally several sections for attributes and skills. This is the game system template and includes the game name, the designer, genre, world overview, tech level, powers with limitations or restrictions, combat with damage, round structure and options, power skill names, and miscellaneous notes. This is an example of the generic D6 system character sheet, essentially a relayout of the character creation template. Depending on your own needs, this sheet might have more or less information for your particular system or setting. This episode is brought to you by Kaboomkin, the smaller, faster, funnier RPG of cartoon, fairy tale, post-apocalypse mayhem. It's time to blow stuff up. Get it now at www.kaboomkin.com. Thank you all for watching this episode. Hit like, subscribe, or ring the bell, or Booger will get you. If you want to see more videos like this, go to hopspush.com and buy an RPG or t-shirt. Do good, annoy evil, and bye-bye.